Hey Joelle, look, we're on camera.
Oh, don't.
Hi everyone, it's the MoFs.
Hello.
So it's going to be jerky and shaky, but that's okay because you guys are going to spend the day with us doing all of the many things that we do.
Yes.
So to catch you up, before we started this, I threw a big stack of plates on the floor at my house and broke them into 10 million, billion pieces. So that was fun. That was fun.
And
Yeah.
I've dropped off 3 kids at 3 different places all over the Reno Sparks area.
Oh, me too. Actually, I only dropped off one.
Well, I saw your husband dropping off the other 2.
Yeah, I had a drop-off assist. So mine that's your age wanted me to drop off, but mine that's your little guy's age said no. I'll be sleeping. But we'll see how that goes. So we are going to go do our many things. This is us on the windy road down from my house. So some of the things on our agenda is I'm taking Joelle out to the lunch that I owe her because she won our bet. We are going to check our post office box to see if we got any more wish list stuff or maybe a postcard or a note from someone. That would be cool. And we are going to
Look at lapel mics for you guys.
Lapel mics so you can hear us speaking if you want to do that. And what else? Oh, we'll have to pick up all of those children that have been dropped off at all of the places.
Yes, we must pick them all up.
Hey Joelle.
Hello.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Okay, so today in our video, our topic is going to be, we want to talk about what really happens at furry conventions. And the reason we thought this was an important topic to talk about is that we've had a lot of parents unsure whether they should take their kids to a furry convention or not. And of course,
yeah, and even kids that want to go are like, well, what's going to happen if I go there?
yeah, what's it like? I mean, so I think that it's always nice to be prepared. And we're not the only people to do this. There are so many, like your first FurCon videos and all of these things, but sometimes especially for the parents, it's easier to hear it from another parent. So we're going to try
and
to
really
explain
this is our perspective, so everyone's perspective is different.
Exactly.
This is our take on it,
and it will be based solely on our experiences. So we just want to talk to you a little bit about what really happens at a FurCon.
Okay, so it's all the sex, right?
No. Where are we going first?
Post office.
Okay. No, okay, so that's the thing some people obviously have in their mind. Like they go and it's like, I think it's really funny, but I think some people have this vision. What did I say? Oh my gosh, we gotta go fast.
This is the worst turn. It is, it's the worst turn.
Sorry.
This is McCarran, y'all. Anybody in this area, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
There, you need a light there, by the way.
We do need a light, I agree.
But anyway, so I do believe that people feel like that FurCons and fur meets are just a place for everybody to hook up. Like it's like a Sodom and Gomorrah. You walk in and all of this like sordid stuff is everywhere, which is so funny.
Right.
And you know
There's no key bowl.
Yeah, you don't drop your keys as you walk in. No.
Well, and that's also, you could use drinking as an example. I'm sure lots and lots of parties are had and lots of alcohol is consumed. However, people under 21 probably aren't drinking, and people who don't like to drink aren't drinking,
Right.
and they're still at the con having a good time. It's not required.
Right.
Right. Because we typically don't do either of those things at cons.
No. So, okay. What we want to do today is to actually explain from our perspective, we've gone to a few now, what the process is to go to a con, because we've had that question too.
Yeah.
And what it's like, you know, as you walk in the door, what happens. And hopefully that will give you guys enough confidence to take your kids, because it's really a lot of fun. My heart was broken 2 days ago. We had an Instagram follower messages. And it's a kid, I think like young teen, and they said they wanted us to connect with their parent because they want us to help the parent get our perspective. The one thing they want with their parent is the relationship where they can talk about the new suits and all of the exciting things that are happening in the fandom freedom, and that kind of made me really like, yes, we'll do whatever it takes. You just have them call. Do they like coffee? We'll meet for coffee, you know? But we honestly can't do that for everybody. We're hoping that giving you guys some more information, and I'm talking to the parents here, will allow you a little more freedom and confidence to just do it. Just jump in and go to one, and then make your decision.
And watch more of our videos so you learn more about the fandom in general.
Right.
And our experience going to our first con. But so to your point, let's say we've chosen a convention that we want to go to. Step number one.
And by the way, you can go to mofurries.com. We have a calendar now. It's not an all-inclusive list, but we have quite a few.
We put as many as we could find, and I do need to update it.
Well, I've been working on updating it a little
bit. Joelle works so hard.
But if you can go to our website, and we have on every con that we have on there, we have the dates, the city, and the website.
Yes.
So definitely look at that. If you hear of one that's not on there, we also recommend you go to WikiFur and go to upcoming events, or I think that's what it's called, the upcoming.
Yeah, I agree.
And they have a pretty good list too. First thing you do is find a con, like you said. Then what's next, Carrie?
So the next thing that you would want to do is look at the schedule of events. If they don't have the schedule out for this year, that doesn't work. Okay, so we've chosen a con. Let's say it's further confusion. That was our first con, so it's a great example.
Right, and it's coming up, so.
Yes! Our first anniversary.
Yay!
First anniversary, I should say.
Okay, let's go right into the post office, and then we'll tell them about that.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go into the post office. Look how cute Carrie's hair is today.
I can't go in a ponytail yet.
It's adorable.
Thank you. Don't be too careful on the stairs.
Oh, sorry.
Are you sorry?
Sorry. Look, she's so happy to go to the post office. Okay.
I'm feeling good.
Feeling positive?
Nothing. I see a lot of boxes back there. I feel like they're ours.
Fine.
All right, so we checked the mail. There was none.
Wah, wah, wah. That's what my little 3-year-old grandson says now. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. And I would bet, because I looked through the box, and there was a whole bin of boxes. I think we're going to get stuff tomorrow.
I popped my head in and said hi to the postmaster because I was hoping they'd say, oh, wait a minute, we've got some boxes.
But she didn't care.
She did not care.
Maybe
she said
tomorrow.
hi.
She did.
But that's all.
Okay, so let's talk about
Oh, what's me?
cons. Planning to go to a con.
Yes.
Con experience.
What happens? Like the whole, beginning to end. So, first thing is find a con that you're interested in going to, whether it's a local thing or if it's just in a location that you would like to visit or are able to blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever your personal criteria is. So, all of them that I know, all of them have websites, right?
Yeah.
I've not come across anyone that's not had a website. So, find the website. Just Google it. Oh, one thing though, sometimes they have it per year. It's kind of weird. So, Google, like this one, you would say Further Confusion 2019.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. So, do that. And the very, very biggest thing is to pre-register.
Yes, make sure you pre-register. It will save you time. It could possibly save you money.
That's what I mean, because really, well, two things. It will save you money because they have discounts up to a certain day, like every one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or so far the ones we've done.
I messed up on Stack Anime.
Oh, did you wait too long?
No, I did the pre-registration.
But we didn't do it together. I messed up. Why?
That's
I wasn't
not your
thinking
fault.
about it. You could do a 4-pack for the weekend, 4 more. And you got a discount. Well, I did my 4, but I wasn't even thinking that you didn't have 4 because not everybody's going.
That's not your responsibility.
I know, but I still feel bad.
Anyway. So, do your due diligence. Don't be like Joelle and me.
No, and the other thing for hotels. So, and I need to tell, there's a mom that is planning to go to Seattle, and I know that they got a hotel elsewhere because they thought it was going to be, the hotel was a little pricey for Northwest, but I bet they were looking at the normal price and not the hotel block price is as cheap as any other in the area.
Really?
Yes. So the thing is, they block. If anybody's familiar with like group sales, there's a block. The hotel gives the con at a discounted rate.
That's true.
But there's only so many. So you need to get in there, you need to register, and you need to reserve under that block so you get that discount. And there are some cons, Anthrocon, Midwest Fur Fest, I'm not sure of the others, that just sell out, period.
You're right. I think the reason we are not staying on site because I used some of my points with one of my affinity cards. Anthro Northwest, because we have to be there all of the days, and it would have been really pricey for us. So,
and we're trying to figure out how to do cons budget consciously.
Right. So like everyone else, we are on a budget. So for us, that's what worked out because we're just using some of my points for part of the stay.
And I'm driving us up, so we're just going to drive back and forth, and that's fine for us. That
so that's what we're doing to make it work, and it is a 12-and-a-half-hour drive. Oh my word, with children. It's going to be great.
That's going to be fine.
So, but which is a good point. So look at your budget and do what you need to do. This is really important to us. We want to be at Anthro Northwest. We're going to do a big thing there, which I won't go into now. But so we are making it work to the best of our ability.
But just know that you need to get into there early to pre-register to get the most discount. You also need to, for a lot of them, make sure that you get your hotel for early if you're getting it under their block because they may sell out. The other thing that we really want to say as far as registration comes, or pre-registration, really look at your budget and what you're able to do, and obviously don't ever go above what your means are, but if you are planning to get swag or a t-shirt or something, really look at the difference between attendee and the next level, which is normally like patron or sponsor.
Right.
Because most of the time we find if they're offering like a t-shirt, it's worth that level because you're going to spend more on a t-shirt if you buy attendee, the lowest registration, and then buy a t-shirt.
That's true, and that's really my fault because between the two of us, I'm definitely the most thrifty, and there's good and bad with that because with the first couple of cons we went to, we registered being more thrifty, and we didn't get the t-shirt. We both really wanted the t-shirt. We wanted that next level, so we agreed the next con that we went to, which happened to be Megaplex, we were going to get the minimum that got us what we wanted, which was the t-shirt, the cup, and that registration.
I love the t-shirt, although my teens swiped it.
It looks cute on them.
Oh my gosh, it looks really cute. It's baggy, but it's adorable.
Baggy's fine. So look at what you can handle as far as your budget. Be realistic and do that. We would love to do sponsor, but we can't. Another option that I will just throw out that we are doing for the next couple of cons is we're volunteering, and it includes our registration.
And cons can never have too many volunteers.
And that really will get you more into the feeling and the whole vibe of the con. So we're really excited that we're going to be volunteering at both Anthro Northwest in a big way.
Right. Because those of you new to this, these cons are a big deal. They are like, you have to think of it in terms of like Comic-Con or Trekkie conventions. Like, it's a full-on event. This is not just a bunch of scattered brain teenagers throwing a party together. It's an event.
And the volunteers that we have seen working the events have been fantastic. And
their profits or portions of their profits typically go to charities. There's a board that the executive level they report to. Like, it's a full-on they're organizations. For instance, FurCon, since we are talking about that, they just had a staff meeting on Saturday. We weren't able to go, but I was able to watch the live stream of it, which was really nice. And it's just like any other organizational board meeting or staff meeting. You know, they're going around down the HR things. They're going down all of the different departments. We're having input and updates on what was going on. So just understand that that's not just some big party. Like, it's a full-blown event.
So be a part of it. And if you want to learn about the fandom, that's a great way to do it. And we are really excited to be volunteering at Anthro Northwest and upcoming at FurCon.
Yeah. We're hoping to get into some things. Actually, we're hoping to explore some new avenues that go along with what we do, what our mission is with this channel within the cons. So anyway, that's for another video.
Yeah. So you've registered.
And you have your reservations. Everything's ready. Then what?
You booked. Well, you need to look at if you need a flight. Right.
Right. All of your travel arrangements.
All your travel stuff is done.
Okay, so that's okay. I'm gonna have. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to focus on driving for a moment.
We're going over there.
I know, but that guy wasn't being very polite
Was
and
not
letting
driving
me in.
with Aloha.
No.
So you've got
That's
you've got
lovely. I like how I'm gonna use that. I'm stealing that.
drive
from you.
Aloha.
Drive with
You know, I
Aloha.
used to live in Hawaii.
Did you?
Yeah, it's
I
true. I
live
probably
in-
never mentioned it. I don't really talk about it.
I lived in the East Bay of San Francisco. Have I
What?
ever told you? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is new information.
We have some favorite places that we've lived, and we do talk about them quite frequently.
Kind of a lot. So, all right. So you've booked all your plans.
All right.
You have your hotel, everything. The next
Everything's
thing
set.
you need to do is plan your life at the con.
Yes, that's it. And most of the time, you can get an overview of schedule online, but you are not going to get the actual breakdown of events until the first day of con. And I really would like to get over, dude.
Well, not always, because remember, Megaplex was very convenient. They had it, and we were able to register for the things that we wanted to do. The schedule.
Oh, that's right. Their schedule, we could online schedule, and that way, for us, it was nice because other people could go in and see where we were planning to be.
Yeah. So your con may have that. They may not. But
And you may not want to have everybody know where you are. You don't have to. We chose to.
Right.
So just know that.
But so if they don't have this year's schedule up, you can look at next year's to
Well-
get an idea.
Right.
So you can jot down or make a mental note of the things that you want to pick. For
Right.
instance, for us, non-negotiables, we always want to see the dance comp.
Right. So what you do, let's go into the day of. You get there. Sorry, it's a little glary.
It's cool.
So you get to the con, you go straight to registration because even though you've pre-registered, you have to go through the line. You will get any swag for your level, but you'll get your con book, which is going to be very important.
And your badge. Always
And your
have your badge on you because they really control access, especially
For
for minors. So yeah, make sure you always have your badge on you. And they are strict because let me tell you, I lost mine. We were in a pickle.
And we had to go through,
Some
jump through
steps. So
some steps.
make sure that you always have your badge on you and go get it right away so you don't miss anything.
Right. So when you walk in to the doors, you're going to be overwhelmed because you're going to see furries everywhere, and it's really cool. But make sure you get straight to registration. There's always a lot of signage. Depending on what time you go or what day you go, you may be in line for a while. So just
We've
know
always been
that.
pretty lucky. I think the longest line we were ever in was FurCon, and we hadn't pre-registered and we didn't come early.
You know, we didn't pre-register. That's why we know it's better to do it.
Now we know.
So-
We're learning as we go.
Right, and just know that regardless of if you get there and you're overwhelmed, confused, you don't know where you're going, furries are very helpful. Just ask someone. Let's go in and look at lapel mics, and then we'll come back to you guys.
Okay, so here's what happened. We are old women.
But we are still human.
We just went in the Best Buy to look for lapel mics. And I went to ask an associate for help. And as he turned, he was like so handsome.
One of the most beautiful men I've ever seen in history of men.
I couldn't even look at him in the eye.
It was like trying to look at the sun.
He was so handsome.
He was so handsome.
Do you have lapel mics?
No. Do you have lapel mics?
I did that. Do you have
Oh. He was very nice and had great customer service.
He's very good with old people. And he's handsome.
So handsome.
That's all. We'll have to catch back up with you in a minute.
Safe.
We've recovered from the handsome man at Best Buy.
Almost. I mean, as much as we're going to recover.
It's going to take me a while because I'm older. We definitely objectified him.
We did.
We weren't super subtle because we were just like,
Oh my gosh. But you know what?
it's his fault
It's not.
for looking that way.
He was beautiful. We tried to be, well, I don't know that we even tried to be subtle.
But we're just old women, so I'm sure he was flattered
Maybe.
and not creeped out.
Hopefully. I mean, we didn't say anything rude or to him or anything
No,
like
all
that.
we said was, "Oh my God, he's so handsome."
That's what we did.
Look,
he walked
I'm
away.
still blushing.
He walked
Yes, he
away and
was.
we looked at each other and went, and we're not like that typically, like, you know, we're old, whatever. He was an exceptional specimen.
We need to talk more about the con than
And
the
less
Best Buy
about-
guy. Best Buy guy. But he's handsome. That's enough.
The Best Buy bicep.
Now we're going to Walmart, and you know, maybe we'll see somebody attractive there. So
I mean, maybe. We're just
but
joking. There probably are lots of attractive people there, but we don't care.
probably
because-
we're past it now. Was my point.
Okay, yes, we're gonna go to Walmart. I hate Walmart, but
That's an atypical experience to have a clerk be
Yeah,
so
look.
attractive. Well, I keep flushing completely. What's that about?
I don't know.
Here, you just drive and I'll hold it down.
Don't let my craziness distract you all. Oh.
Oh,
First, I thought it said I
Oh.
couldn't turn, but then it just said I needed to yield. Well,
you
duh.
must yield to the U-turners.
I mean, do they need a sign? Isn't that always the way?
See, I like smart cars. There's one I just saw. That's why.
Did that guy make a rude gesture at us? I think maybe he did.
Huh? I don't know.
Guy,
I
the
was looking at the
walking guy.
smart car. Why? Because maybe we were so attractive to him that he was getting a little crazy.
Wasn't that kind of gesture, but okay. Anyway, okay, so what about smart cars do you love? We're being a little silly.
I love that they're smart cars and they're small and you can probably park them anywhere, but whenever I see them, I always think that the person's feet are sticking down below and they're going
They look like roller skates.
Okay, so
All right, okay, so we went through
you've looked at the con, you've looked at the past things that you want to schedule. So,
if they're available, and
Yes.
and you're at the con, you're in pre-registration line, you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of people, there's a lot of excitement. You're registered. Okay, you've gone through your line. We're at a red light, so I'm not driving.
you put your badge right on.
Your badge is on, you have your con book. I don't know what you think, but I suggest you immediately go out, find a place to sit down and flip through the con book and like mark however you want to.
Or put it in your phone
Or
if
put it-
you're, not
Right.
old.
Yeah, but the con book's right there. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
I agree. I'm definitely about writing things down. That was not mockery. Like I'm a note taker.
I would
but
like
a lot
to
of people
highlight
just
things.
use their smartphone. So do whatever works for you, but jot down the things that you don't want to miss.
Right. Pick what 3 absolutes that you just don't want to miss, and you are going to see panels. Which panels are scheduled by the people hosting them. There, you'll see what the topic is. Generally, the description gives you a good feel because there are things that you may not think appropriate for your child. So you want to make
Right.
sure that you are going to something that is not 18 plus or adult content. And like Carrie said, the one thing we suggest every single time, dance competition.
Dance
Every
comp.
single time.
Fursuit parade.
If they do floor wars, anything with dancing.
Yeah, we really like that. We like the games, to watch the games.
The games are fun.
And then always have a backup or try to have a backup because you might go to something and find that, well, it's not really of interest to me. So you have something else that you could do to fill up that time. Or you might go to something and it seems like it's going to be appropriate for you and your kid, but turns out, it wasn't labeled.
exactly. Well, and it's, especially when you're first getting into it, because there are some terms and things that you may not recognize by reading the description. So for that, we highly suggest, and we're not trying to plug, we just really tried to get a very thorough glossary put together of terms just to be aware of and know, so you'll be more knowledgeable when picking things to do, right?
Yeah, so definitely check out our video on terminology, and if you have questions or you hear things that you aren't familiar with, drop us a message and we can likely explain it.
Right, and at the con, if you have a question, just ask. There con staff you'll see running around everywhere. But even
Ask anyone. Ask a raptor.
That's what I was going to say. Ask a raptor. They're very helpful, we've found. Don't be afraid to ask because for the most part, everybody there is just welcoming and wonderful and lovely. So
we have not thus far had a negative experience. So do ask questions. Keep an open mind, and know that the panels and events that are happening at a con, sorry about the glare, y'all, may have nothing to do with furry.
I'm being that person.
So an arrow that goes this way, you don't want to. Just food for thought.
Sorry.
So some of the panels that we've attended at cons, I'm gonna not make eye contact.
Don't, because I'm gonna back in right here.
Are you gonna park here?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna park right here. I narrate every time we park. Just don't.
And I mock. We each have our thing.
I need to go back. My parking wasn't great, but sorry.
Oh, he gave us the eye. That's all right. I smiled at him. That's good.
I really thought that this was one that went both ways.
You never can tell.
You can't just
That's
assume.
why the ribbons are helpful.
Don't assume.
So, you will see panels that have nothing to do with the furry fandom.
You're right. That's a great point.
And so don't feel like it's going to be all furry all the time and it will make you crazy if this is your first one and it's too much.
And you're unsure about it, right?
We predict it won't be too much for you, but...
Yeah, we predict you're going to enjoy yourself a lot.
There's never enough furry. But,
right.
So we've attended panels that had real animals.
That was really cool. It was because I would venture to say most of the charities that cons do are for service animals or wildlife rescues. And this wasn't that a wildlife rescue, like educational panel?
So they had like a sloth and they had a fennec fox and
the alligator.
Yeah, they had super cool stuff. We've seen skunks, like all kinds of stuff. So completely unrelated to furry. If you're into animals, you'll enjoy that. Right. We went to a YouTube panel, which was really helpful. And somebody was talking about they wanted to start a YouTube channel that they recorded their dash cam because they were a long haul trucker. And
right. So it doesn't have to be, I mean, it was fur tubers, but you could get a lot of information that was just good as a YouTuber. It doesn't have to be furry specific.
Right. And what else?
We did a meet and greet. That was fun. I mean, that was just getting to meet some people, just because we can comment back and forth, but it's difficult sometimes to get one-on-one like conversation. So we just kind of did a little get together. They're just everything. You can do, Furry 101 is always a good one. We're seeing more and more parent panels, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, we are pretty jazzed about that. And we saw, at Megaplex, we saw a lot of parents, including several dads.
Yeah, that was nice. They're normally makers, so if you have someone or if you're into sewing and making things, that's always fun.
And Dealer's Den, I mean, there's just lots of cool stuff to look at the Dealer's Den. And like I bought a wallet. It had nothing to do with furry. It's a super cute wallet. So
right, so the Dealer's Den is another thing that we didn't know until we went to FurCon because our kids didn't tell us. I mean, obviously they knew because they were like, let's hit the Dealer's Den. And we were like, we don't know what that is. And that is basically just the vendor area.
Yeah. And so it's mostly handicrafts and makers and things, which is right up my alley. So if you're into crafts, badges.
You can commission sketches like right
real
there.
Time, yeah, right then and there. So there's lots of stuff to see. If you just like to shop and mill about, if you're into craft fairs, you'll find stuff that's interesting.
It's very much like a craft fair in the Dealer's Den. And then they cons typically also have art shows. And we found that art is very labeled like it's either not safe or it is safe. Everything that's 18 plus is covered and labeled. You will find within the community, it's like the general public for the most part. The people that are into that kind of stuff want to keep kids out of it. And the very few that we've heard of, we've never experienced it, but we've heard of some inappropriate things that is not well received within the fandom. If someone has had an inappropriate behavior of any kind, they may as well be banished from the kingdom. I mean, it's
not welcome.
It is not welcome at all.
And the volunteers are so, as we mentioned, really careful to check badges, and that's to their credit because, we have kids, and we wouldn't want our kids to accidentally wander into an area that's not appropriate for them. They wouldn't try to sneak in.
Our kids wouldn't, but our teens are at that age that, it's iffy if they're 18 or right under 18 or whatever. So we love that they check the badges. That's
Yeah.
that's a big plus for us. So let's go into the store.
Yep, we're going to go to Walmart and we are going to...
I shouldn't say that because what if they wanted to advertise?
Did you just say you hate Walmart?
I hate Walmart.
She said it again.
But I'll cut it out. So let's go.
Pretentious. Hey, so we were just editing our video and we realized
We have no ending. We never said goodbye.
we didn't. Because what happened was, in our defense, I owed Joelle lunch. I took her to lunch at the Brewer's Cabinet here in Reno.
So good.
And we had these tots.
Yes, and we plan on having a meetup or something there during BLFC in May, so you guys can have some tots too.
Because they're amazing, but we were kind of carb drunk, and we
Totally
started to
forgot.
do a video and then just, didn't.
Stopped. We just stopped. So anyway,
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed this.
Yes, and any questions or anything we didn't cover about, your first con or prepping for your con, drop us a comment, send us an email at mofurries@gmail.com.
Just anything, any kind of
Go to
questions,
our website.
anything. Find us on Twitter or wherever. We're at all the places.
Like, subscribe, click on the bell so you get
All of
notified
that.
when we put out a new video.
Okay, bye guys.